Yes, I forgot. Thank you, Damodar. My little angel standing there. Yeah, welcome everybody again. I'll start off with the Urban Devi Sangha for January. I'm Surabhi Govinda and Damodar Priya is not well, so I'm standing in for her. Please have her in your prayers to get better soon. And she is online, but please don't disturb her. She's not well and is in bed, so she's just listening in. And today we have a wonderful, very creative talk for you. But before we go there, I'd like to have Rukmini Prabhu say a few words, our esteemed leader for the Urban Devi Collective. So I'm sure she'd like to welcome you too.
Yeah, welcome, Nina Citralekha. We led a lovely retreat in her native land of Colombia when we took ladies whale watching. And we're going to do it again in September. So at the end, she's going to post a flyer for that upcoming retreat. So she's a wonderful creative teacher and Bhakti and a beautiful Devi. So I'm so happy to have her here with all her creative ideas and inspirations. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go a quick introduction to Citralekha Devi Dasi. She is also known as Nina Coleman, which you might already know. She is a Bhakti yoga teacher and a practitioner, an award-winning writer, and an art therapist for over 10 years of experience in emotional support through the arts. She holds a degree in international business from EAFIT University in Colombia and an European management degree from l'École de Management de Strasbourg in France. She was working in the corporate world, but shifted her path to publishing her first book called Sonámbula. I think I probably didn't say that well, at the age of 24, and has written a lot of short stories and won awards for her work in those fields. She also holds a master's in creative writing from the International University of Valencia in Spain and is certified life coach and art therapist. So we are very pleased to have her here today. And on top of that, she also has Bhakti experience since 2011 when she went to India. And then in 2019, she became formally initiated. So we have this wealth of experience, and I'm so excited to introduce Citralekha Devi Dasi for this session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shuravi, Rukmini, and everyone who is here today. I'm very, very glad to have this opportunity to share and to, let's say, set the mood for the rest of the year in Urban Devi, which it's a great opportunity. So, I'm going to go straight into why we are here. So about me, it's mostly like I've loved expressing through arts since I'm a child. So you may notice I'm from Colombia, so I'm not an English native speaker. If you don't understand me, please just raise your hand, interrupt me. I don't know. I hope you will be able to understand. But I'm a little bit nervous, so I hope I can communicate clearly. So yes, so I've been writing since I don't know, since I was 5, or since I learned how to write. And writing, theater, dancing, it's been like running through my veins since forever. And it's been more than 10 years now that I dedicated, after some years in the corporate world, I decided to get deeper into how all this creative artistic expressions can help us out to let's say manage or balance our emotions, to get to a deeper knowledge of ourselves. And so I've been doing a lot of emotional work throughout the arts in the last years. And today, so I will just talk a little bit about the power of art therapy, and then we will go into a couple of exercises together so that we can taste its its power. So first of all, I ask you all to please try to release anything you have in your hands, to try to sit like, yeah, with your spine as long as possible for just a couple of breaths. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. If not, you can leave them open, and just try to notice, to be aware of how are you today. It may be morning for you, it is night for me now, but wherever you are, just try to go through your body and feel all those physical sensations that you have. How's your temperature? How's your breathing? How's your energy? Are you tired? Are you with a lot of energy right now? And as you do so, please refrain from judging. I mean, anything's good nor wrong. Just get to notice if there's pain, if there's tension, whatever you feel, just acknowledge that. And now I'm going to invite you to take a deep, deep, deep breath in and retain. Hold your breath just for a couple of seconds. And in that pause, you may feel a little bit better, all the sensations. And then when you release, when you exhale, please try to make that exhale as long as possible. Try to exhale, exhale, exhale. And when you feel that there's no air left, there's always a little bit more. So exhale deeply. And we're gonna do this twice more. So inhale, just feel the air getting to all of your cells, all of your body. Then you pause there and have a long exhale. And when you exhale, you release anything you were doing before you connected, anything you got to do after. You just connect to the here and the now. And we're going to do this for a third time. Inhale. Hold your breathing and go with a long exhale. And you release any doubts you may have, any expectations, anything which may distract you. And now that you're fully present, I will just ask you to go with me in a journey. We're gonna go and visit with our imagination one of my favorite Vedic stories. We're gonna go and see. There's like an assembly full of men, and in the center of it, there's one woman. Her name is Draupadi. She is a very brave woman. She's standing there facing a very rude treatment from the Kurus. If you are not familiar to the story, just don't worry. So Draupadi is standing there because she is representing the Dharma, the, let's say, religious principles, or what's compassionate, good. And the Kurus, they represent the Adharma, or what's greedy and not peaceful. And okay, so she's there, and there's a long story behind, but in this moment, where what we're seeing is that trying to humiliate her, they begin pulling her sari, and she is very, very scared, and she tries to struggle, to wrestle. She obviously doesn't want to get undressed, so she's pulling her sari. But one of the Kurus, who's very strong, he is like pulling it back. And even if Draupadi, is the wife of Arjuna, the Pandavas, let's say the heroes of the story, right there, they couldn't help her. So this was the situation where she was hopeless. So she was there, like, let's say, struggling. We can imagine her strengths, all her strengths were like, she was running out of strength now, wrestling. She was, having a very, very hard time. And there was a moment when she realized that she couldn't do it anymore, that she was, she was gonna get undressed. And well, she just like raised her arms, and she called the divine beloved by some of his names, and she just said, well, I'm gonna sing. I always love to sing how she called for her beloved. She sang Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Natana Rajan Vasudeva. So when she did that, when she just stopped relying on her strength, when she raised her arms and just called out for her beloved, for Krishna, in that moment, the sari became infinite. This fabric that she was using to cover, to dress, it never ended. So they continued pulling it, and Krishna made it infinite. So that was the magic, that was the power of surrendering. And we recall Draupadi for her strength, not for the strength she had when pulling her sari, but for the strength and the trust that she had when she just raised her hands and fully surrendered to Krishna. So now I'm gonna ask you to go back, inhale again. And if you were with your eyes closed, you can open them now. And now that we are here, all inspired by this Draupadi story, I'm gonna just tell you a couple of things about art therapy, because we're gonna work today with that story, with that surrendering like quality that Draupadi had. We're gonna work with our infinite saris. So just some things that I want to share is that whenever I talk about art therapy, some people may say, but I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at writing. And I always say it's even better. So if you today have that in mind, like I've never done it before, or I was never good at arts at school or something, that's not the objective as, like the main objective. So the power of arts is that even if we try to, let's say, fix our lives with our intelligent mind, sometimes we continue, and I'm not going to go deeper there, because we know that intelligence is the one who controls mind. But we're going to talk of one characteristic of that intelligence, which is of that mind, sorry, which is the subconscious mind. So every time we're trying to fix a problem just using our, let's say, intellect, that problem, even if we're super intelligent, that problem may continue arising again and again and again. So it's not a matter of how intelligent we are, because we're very, very intelligent. So why is the same problem like persisting throughout our lives? And psychologists say that 95% of our actions are actually determined by our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind has the information, let's say, of the things that happened to us in our early years, those patterns that we saw in our family that we continue repeating in a subconscious way. We're not aware of that, or any trauma and event that kind of, let's say, left a print on us. And even if we don't know, we are acting from there. So the power of arts is that they talk the subconscious language, which is symbolic, which is not the intellect. It doesn't matter how many languages you speak, how many, I don't know, degrees you have, all the experience you may have in a certain field. What we are like accessing through arts, it's a symbolic language. And arts, I have a partner, she's a music therapist, and she always says that the music gets, or let's say that it enters throughout the kitchen door. So it's like, today you may say, oh, I feel very, very calm or very happy or so, and probably I just play some song and you begin crying, and that's the power of arts, that they actually get into the subconscious and take out what we really have there. So that's what we're going to do. Just a couple of agreements. So as I said, it is not a matter of how beautiful you write, how beautiful you draw, how nicely you move. That's not the objective. There's no possibility that you can you can make a mistake during art therapy. Everything's right because it's your personal process. So please try to turn off that judge that may say, oh, you don't do this, is not beautiful, or this is not right, because there is no wrong in this process. Also, please, when we go into the breakout rooms, if we were like in a live workshop, there's something that is very, very common, and is when we begin talking about emotions. It happens more often in Spanish, but also I've seen it in English, that we begin talking about for example, one feels this way or that way, or we use the plural, that we, because we think or we feel this way or other. So we're going to try to talk in a me, first person, like I feel, I think, okay, that's for you to be aware of your emotions. So I'm going to ask you, when we go into the breakout rooms, to try to be aware of that when you share, not to put those emotions like out there, just talk about you. And the last agreement, it's just try to be as present as possible. I know you are probably in many different places. If you can turn off your mobile or anything you have, because the more present you are, of course, the more you're gonna take out of this. So okay, we're gonna do an exercise now that I told you about Draupadi. If you didn't know, of course, the story is very, very beautiful, and I encourage you to go and read it. It's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, yeah. And yes, we might send a link. So, but now that you have an idea, if you didn't know it before, so I want you to take a deep breath, and we're gonna recall the past year, 2024. So I'm gonna play a music, and you're gonna begin recalling month by month all those events in which you were struggling. Let's say when you were trying to not, how can I say, let me find a word. Okay, those moments when you were like wrestling, that you were pulling your sari, that you were having a hard time because you wanted to control the situation, because that's what happens in our lives, that we are every time having these situations in which external forces, external events, they come and they test us, and sometimes we think we can rely on our own strengths. We think we can control. We think we are the ones who are gonna get the result done. I'm not gonna get undressed in this situation, Draupadi's example. So I want you to recall all those events in which you thought you could control the situation, in which you were fighting, in which you were wrestling, in which you were not surrendering, let's say. And you're just gonna, without judging yourself, because this is not a matter of why did I do this. No, let's just recall, yes, I had a hard time when this or that happened. I was relying a lot of on my own strength. I was controlling, or of course, we're never controlling. It's always an illusion. So I'm gonna play a song now, and you're gonna just recall during the last year, during 2024, when were you struggling? When were you trying to be in control? You're gonna just use your memory, and when I tell you, I'm gonna lower the volume, and I'm gonna ask you to move. But for now, it's just gonna be listening and remembering about the last year's events. When were you in that situation? So I'm gonna share now my my screen, and I'll ask you just to not stop. Please don't stop breathing. It's very important that you are breathing every time, like accompanying yourself with your breath. And okay, let's recall those situations now. Okay, and now I want you to begin moving. So if you cannot, if you can just be seated, you're gonna move there, sitting. But if you can actually stand up, I'm gonna ask you to move and try to find which movements do connect with that feeling of trying to keep control, trying to rely on your own strengths. Those movements that feel as you feel when you are in those situations. So go on and move your body, like try to create with your body the same feeling that you get to feel when you are in that controlling stage or situation. And now, very gently, I'm gonna ask you to come back to your seat. Very gently, I ask you not to like stop your movements, like try to do it as efficient so you're not to injure. So now you're gonna write. You're gonna write everything you felt. The body is a very, very good instrument for us to actually get to understand how we actually feel. So try to, when you write, try to listen to your body. How does your body feel when you are trying to control things, when you're relying on your own strengths? And just let the writing guide you. Don't stop breathing. I'm gonna ask you to write for as long as I play this music. I mean, just not don't stop before, because we are trying to go deep. So just continue writing whatever comes to your mind, whatever event you recall from last year. What happened? How were you feeling? Why? What's your body telling you? So you're gonna continue listening to the same music, and you're just gonna write whatever comes to you. So go ahead. Okay, music will stop now. And I'm gonna stop sharing for now. Okay. So now I'm gonna ask you. Oops. Am I still there? Yes? Okay. Sorry, I had a message saying
Yeah, no, we can hear you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So now I want you to take a deep breath in again. Exhale and release this emotion, this sensation of being, or let's say, having the illusion of being in control. Just breathe out. And now I'm gonna again ask you to go back into your 2024 and now try to go to those events, those moments when you actually felt that you raised your hands, that you felt that your confidence, that your trust in Krishna, this is the name I use for the divine, you may use another name, your divine beloved. So those moments that you trusted that divine beloved, that you actually felt covered, that you felt, or that you, for example, those that meditate with mantra, that you were relying on that sound vibration so much. I don't know, go into whatever memory brings you that sense of surrendering. And now I'm gonna play a different song, and we're gonna repeat the same process. First, you're gonna just close your eyes and try to go back in time, try to find those moments where you felt you were surrendering to your higher self, to that supreme person. And then I'm gonna ask you to move. How does it feel in your body when you surrender, when you lose control, when you trust the divine? And then you're gonna explore in your body, and I'm gonna ask you to actually feel and do different movements from the ones you did when you first explored the let's say the fighting mood. So I'm gonna share again a different song. Okay. And just breathe and go back and try to find those moments where you were with your arms up, just relying on your divine beloved.
Shri Krishna Govinda.
Just go back in time with your memory, with your heart.
Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He
begin moving and use your face. You're invited to. You can just take your muscles, leave your body. Feel it. How do you feel?
Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Lakshmi Narayana Vasudeva. He Lakshmi Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath
Again,
Narayana Vasudeva.
you're going to come back to your paper, your notebook, and just write how you feel when you surrender, when you trust the divine, when you don't rely on your own strength, but you rely on the divine purpose. Again, don't stop writing before I tell you so, and just let the writing plan.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan. Oh Vasudeva, Govinda Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Oh Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Hey Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Hey Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Oh Hey Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Hey Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Hey Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Hey Nath
Okay, very good. So probably you wanna write a little bit more, which I will encourage you to after the session. But for now, you're gonna leave it there. You're gonna breathe again. Inhale and exhale. And now, this is what we're gonna do. The session is called Infinite Sari because we all women that are looking for spiritual answers for in a spiritual life. We all have infinite saris. The thing is, sometimes we forget, and sometimes we, let's say, we lose a lot of our energies trying to wrestle, trying to fight, when we shouldn't be losing our energy like that. But how do we connect that sensation of that illusory control, that feeling of this is only in my hands, I am the only one who's gonna solve this? How do we connect that feeling to this surrendering, to this, okay, I do what's in my, whatever it's in my possibilities, but I know I rely on my higher beloved. So how do we connect that sense of illusory control to our faith, to our trust? Now we're gonna play a little bit with that bridge. That bridge is our infinite Sari. How could I trust, or what would I do different if I knew I have an infinite Sari? Probably Draupadi would have just raised her hands immediately, yeah, of course, this is, I mean, the way it happened was perfect, just for us to be able to tell this story. It's part of the lila of the pastime. But in our lives, so how can we know there's an infinite Sari available? And if we know that, how do we pass from struggling to surrendering and trusting? So now we're gonna play a little bit with, okay, what is my infinite Sari made of? I mean, what in my life makes me trust? What in my life makes me surrender? It may be my Bhakti sadhana, my japa. It may be also talking to this friend or this guide. It may be going into nature, connecting to that sense of being nurtured by Bhumi Devi, by Mother Nature. So all those things that remind you that your Sari is infinite. But as in the last two previous exercises, we're gonna ask our body first. Why? I know we always say, and all this Bhakti wisdom is based on we are not our bodies, but I love, well, as I go deep into this art therapy and dance therapy that I just finished my certification, I love that once I heard Ramboru Prabhu from Karunakar saying, we're more than our body. I mean, our bodies have a lot of information that is available to us, and when we go through trauma and everything, the body keeps that scores. And the better we know our bodies, the better we listen to our bodies, the better we're gonna be able to overcome those emotional, let's say, limitations, and go into a higher confidence in the divine and in ourselves as well. So now we're going to ask our bodies, how can I do a bridge? How can I connect this, once again, struggling with my surrendering, my wisest, let's say, part that knows I'm not in control. I'm in Krishna's hands, or in whatever, however you call hands. So I'm gonna ask you to play. Now I'm gonna play the third and the last song, and I'm gonna ask you to ask your body, okay, how could I be more aware of my infinite Sari? Which resources do I have? How can I get into this surrendering stage in an easier way? So the next song will invite you to move those parts of the body that you usually don't move, to move in different directions. Even if you're in your chair, remember you have facial muscles, remember you have toes. So try to go into different movements for you to get different answers. So that's the guideline for now. With the next song, you're gonna connect. How do you pass from being struggling to surrendering and trusting? So I'm gonna share again.
Citralekha, just to remind you, we're at 8:50, so we'll go into the breakout soon after the session.
Yes. This is gonna be just a 1 minute and a half.
No, take your time. It's just letting you know the timing.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Zarabi, for reminding me, because I get very excited, and yes, I may just go on and on. Okay, so this is our last song, and now you're gonna directly move. Go and use your space, whatever possibilities you have, and move your body. How do you connect? Connect the fearful part of you with the trusting part in you. Now, very gently, stop the movement, come to your paper, and answer, what is your infinite Sari made of? What are those attitudes, habits, guides, people, and any other magical fabric thread that weave your infinite Sari? we're gonna leave it there. Okay. And now, again, breathe in and out. Try to feel, how is your body feeling? How are you? What has changed? It may be in your mind, in your body, from the moment we started, from the moment we did this first grounding with the breathing. Now that you listened to Draupadi's story, that you moved, that you wrote. And before we get into our breakout rooms, that it's now, I just want you to think that infinite Sari is available for us. But we all have our own unique, let's say, fabric threads. So as I told you, probably for me, I know that going to nature, connecting to nature, it's such a powerful way of gaining confidence in myself and in the divine. So that's something. And also talking to specific persons, to specific friends, or doing this thing of writing. And in your case, it may be some other things that remind you of that you are being held, that you are being taken care of every time. So now the invitation is for you to just get that final writing that you did and transform it, but this is going to be after the session finishes probably, into one sentence. I always say it is like kind of a spell that activates your surrendering, let's say, awareness whenever you go into the year, into 2025, for you to be able to remember, okay, I'm not relying on my own strengths. I know I can do it better. I can trust. I can rely on my divine loved like hands. So that would be the closing exercise. When we finish sharing, that you write down one sentence, one powerful like statement, that whenever you are feeling struggling, you pronounce it or you remember it, and you're gonna like switch your mood to a more peaceful, surrendering, trusting situation. Okay, so I know, Sarabi, we may probably go now into our breakout rooms, right?
Yes, so ladies, we're going to go into breakouts. You'll get a little prompt if you've not done this before, and you basically join. And then I'll give you 60 seconds before the breakout is complete. So we are good on time, so I'll give you about 7 minutes to do this. I've written the guiding question for the breakout on the chat group, and I've also sent it on the Urban Devi group, and I'll send you a link to the Urban Devi group if you're not already on it later. I have also put down the one powerful statement that you want to come out with or try to think about during this, is what you can use. So when you struggle through the year, that statement can help you recall, come back into the peaceful state. So those are your asks. So here we go, and I will stop the recording while we go into breakouts. And we will come back and have, hopefully you can all share what your ahas were and what you learned. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. I trust you had a good discussion on the topic at hand, and we'd like to now invite you to share your reflections and ahas from the discussion, or anything that you felt was really powerful for you today. We know this is a little scary. We ask you not to refer to people or to be personal, because this is being recorded, but just generally about the topic and what can be so powerful that can help others. And I can perhaps start just to help you get going here. So for me, I think my struggle for the whole of 2025, it started actually in 2024. It started in 2023, was an accident my son had. And I felt very, very constrained, you know, and we were in a care mode for many, many months. And so it was very, and also you're never sure of how health issues go, right? So we're seeing so many people and getting so confused. And so, you know, my struggle had to go towards surrender, because actually in those situations, there's not a lot you can do. It's you have to do things, but it's not that you know what to do that will, if you do this will provide the right. There's no like consequential thinking. You can only do a set of things and hope that one of those will work somehow. So you still have a role. But then in the end, I decided to basically use my practice and also look to my emissaries on the path for guidance. And all roads led to Krishna, the divinity that I follow, and to basically surrender. And in a funny way, the track that Citralekha played with Draupadi, sung by Citralekha Dasi, was the one I used a lot. So it was kind of magical in a way for me, because I knew that by heart. I've used it more often, and I've used a prayer that I was given. And so those were my fortitude and my bridge. So going forward, my powerful statement is to look for the infinite in every moment. I actually put that as a New Year's resolution about 2 days ago, after listening to a lecture from one of our gurus, to look for the infinite in every moment. And I was thinking, well, how can I look for the infinite in every moment, like every moment? And then today we have this wonderful lecture, this discussion from Citralekha about how to create the bridge between suffering and surrender. And I think that bridge is looking at the infinite for me. So thank you. That's my sharing.
That was really beautiful. Thank you, Sarabi. We had a lovely group, and I feel like, you know, I've been really thinking of that phrase of letting go and being held. And I mentioned in our group that right now I'm in Mumbai visiting the Juhu ISKCON Juhu temple, and the deity of Lalita, who is Radharani's dearmost gopi, is holding her hands like this. And so I've been thinking of that song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, but now I've shifted it to being held by Lalita, the feminine, and being held by Lalita and being offered to Sri Radha by her dearmost friend Lalita. And you know, that texture of that infinite Sari is transparent, and it has no width and it has no length. It's infinite, and it has no time constraint. And yeah, I'm yours. I'm held by you. You can throw me up. I know you'll catch me. And I'm yours. And I let it go. All, you know, I'm judging, I'm controlling, and I'm manipulating all the, you know, in all of those constraints. I'm thinking that I know the way that, you know, Gauravani should do things, and I know the way that Anutama should do things, and I know this and I know that, and I'm manipulating and judging, but I just toss it up and I let go. And I want to be held, and I want, you know, the freedom of the spirit, the free spirit that everyone wants. So, and I want that for myself, and I want that for others. And this is the path to try to, yeah, place the world in his hands, her hands. Anyone else want to share thoughts that came up?
Thank you so much. That was so lovely. Some beautiful quotes from that. Yeah, we have Sherry. Would like to share, Sherry?
Hey, oh, yeah, such beautiful reflections. Surabi, I relate to what you're saying, because I think 2024 was just a a year where I felt an onslaught of challenges that just kept coming. And you know, when we talk about the body keeping the score, I really learned that the hard way this past year, because I ended up in the hospital several times, and you know, with some pretty serious stuff. And I think that was when I surrendered. It was like, okay, all of this, you know, you thinking you can fix everything for everyone and balance all of this all by yourself. You know, you've gotten so far into your head, and this is something we talked about in our breakout room, you know, how easy it is to just, when you have so many problems and issues coming at you, you know, you really can get stuck in your head and just forget to take care of your body and forget that you have a body, and that is important because it's what's guiding you through this life, right? And I think being in the hospital bed, realizing, okay, I really have to make some changes in my life, and just accepting, okay, you know, Krishna, here I am. So I think one thing that really came up for me today when we were doing the movement and the writing was, you know, when I was thinking about the year, I just felt like attacked in a lot of ways. I just felt like things were coming at me, they were attacking me, they were poking at me, they were pulling at me. And, you know, I had this sense of just wanting to just withdraw and protect myself against all this. And then when we did the final movement, I felt myself opening and expanding. And, you know, just thinking about the ways I can find that expansion, and that I don't, you know, I don't ever want to abandon myself again, that it's okay that I'm here, and that it's okay for me to take up space and make myself big and stretch out. And I think one thing that came up in that writing after we did that final dance was reaching out instead of withdrawing. I mean, sometimes you need to withdraw to, you know, to rejuvenate yourself, but and that's one thing I definitely have found where Krishna enters my life is through reaching out, through the friendships I have with other women, and you know, going into the natural world has helped me so much to balance my body and my mind, and to trust Krishna, because when I'm in the natural world, when I'm among the trees and the flowers and the cows, I feel a peace that I don't feel in other places, and it always leads me to thinking about Krishna and how everything's so much bigger, and how we're all being held by this bigger force, which I call Krishna. So thank you so much for such a wonderful session.
Thank you, Sherry. That was lovely. We get into the next year and use that bridge to keep crossing over as much as possible. Yay. All right. So let's see. Can someone else like to share?
Hare Krishna. I'll share something.
Okay, Deepa.
I really enjoyed doing the exercises. And it's, I mean, I was really taken back when I thought, you know, I'm thinking how the mind really controls the body. Like I keep on thinking it's kind of separate, but the exercises really showed that in each exercise, how different I felt. And the other thing was, I was thinking, when do I surrender, if I do? And in the group, I realized it was when I was abandoning myself. That's when you know, when I get in touch with those emotions, and then I get fearful. That's when I'm calling out for Radha Krishna most.
Beautiful. Thank you.
But one other thing, if I can share, please. Somewhere in there, this feeling of not taking responsibility keeps coming up when I'm in that sort of prayer. So I'm like thinking I'm giving it over because I don't want to be responsible. So where's the fine line in that? If it makes sense what I'm saying.
It's a very good question, Deepa. Yeah. So who would like to take that? Citralekha or Rukmini Prabhus? Would you?
Citralekha, do you want to respond to that beautiful question?
Yeah, well, obviously, Rukmini may give us a better answer, but for me, it is like my mom, who's here, she's reading Ranat Swami, A Journey Home, and I recalled one part when they're in India and they're at this place where there are tigers at night, and his friend, he has this little stick for defending any tiger appears at night, and Ranat Swami, well, back then, it was many years ago, he asks, like, what's that stick gonna do if a tiger appears? And he says, I know it's not gonna do anything. Krishna is the only one who will do, but at least he wants me to, he is pleased if I do have my stick. So I think that's what we can do. I mean, it is like, okay, what is in my hands? Can I have a stick at least for defending? Can I arrange things for a certain result to come up? But like deeper than that, we know it is not us who's controlling, who is working on a specific result. At least I try, and obviously I also struggle with this a lot, but every time I remind myself, like, okay, I do what I can do. I mean, for example, as an art therapist and entrepreneur, I for example plan my year. Okay, I will do this and that, and I do the advertising, but I know the outcome is just in Krishna's hands. It is like, and it's a matter of that story of Radha Swami. I recall it. Okay, I at least I took my stick, and now the rest is in Krishna's hands. So it is, do whatever you can do, but know that the result is in Krishna's hands. I don't know if that helps.
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
A beautiful answer. Beautiful. Anybody else have a share, realizations that came up? Or you?
Yeah, I'll Rukmini Mataji, I'll go. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this group. It's my first session that I'm
so
attending.
glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here.
And I'm certainly not advanced as many of you in this Krishna consciousness path, but I have always had deep faith, maybe, from my childhood. I'm from Puri, Jagannath Puri, and so our whole family is devoted to Jagannath. And so that's where my faith comes from. I enjoyed this session very much, and what I wanted to share was that in 2024 has also been a difficult year for me in some ways, and lots of good realizations too. I lost my father, and he was 92, had a good life, but the way it happened was a bit disturbing. I went to India because my mother fell ill and was hospitalized. She broke her hip, and I was busy taking care of her. And she was in and out of hospital, very serious. And my father, who was more or less okay, somehow deteriorated in this phase. And while I was looking after my mother, one night he passed away. And for me, it was difficult to grapple with the situation that, could I have done anything more? Was I not paying enough attention to my father? And I was looking busy taking care of my mother. And so I grappled with it till I could let go and say, look, it's beyond me. It's in Krishna's hand, and I started digging into my gratitude to say that Krishna actually got me to India, maybe at the excuse of my mother, so that I could spend the last 18, 20 days of my father's life with him. He went in my arms. And I think when I got myself to thinking like that, and I could be there to nurse my mother back to health, I was able to let go of my self-doubt whether I didn't do enough and I could have done something more. And it also, of course, reinforced my whole faith that Krishna has a wider vision that I could ever have. And, he is taking care of us, and he gave me the opportunity to be with my father. So, yes, it was a difficult time, but I could come back to my sense of gratefulness for being for my faith in Krishna, for the goodness I can see on the difficult situations too. And so that was my big thing in 2024, that I could actually come to terms with it and not beat myself down that maybe I didn't do enough.
Beautiful. I love what you said in our breakout, that part of letting go was knowing that you did the best you could in that moment, in that time. I think that's so wise. Thank you so much. It was very beautiful. It's beautiful to think that somehow Krishna brought you there,
Yeah,
right? Otherwise you wouldn't have been there.
absolutely. I do feel that, he made
Beautiful.
a reason for me to get to there. And I was very, very close to my father. He's always been sort of like a role model for me. So I could
Wow.
spend his last few days with him.
We're talking about being held, and here you're saying you were holding him. Wow. That's very beautiful. Thank you. Is there time? Anybody else want to share what came up for you? Any of you wise, beautiful women, shining, transparent, infinite cloths of Sari women?
I can share. So I think when I first was doing it, I felt quite collapsed in my body. Collapsed, yeah. When I'm trying to control. So I think last year, I've been trying to, start a new course and doing work and trying to think, okay, I want to stop doing this. And there's been so many transitions that I felt like I had to keep controlling everything. Oh, if I stop this, then I might miss out on that, and then this will start, and how will I be there? And it was just manic. It was literally, I felt my mind was so busy, and I felt quite collapsed in some of the moments trying to figure out. And then when I did get my place in my course, I was like, oh, do I want to even do this now? So I was literally like, so the overthinking kind of made my body feel really tired and in this collapsed state. And actually, when I was able to let go and surrender, I felt quite free, and was able to connect to a place where there was more movement and able to grow. And I was just thinking about the infinite Sari for me was to remember that Krishna has abundance of love, strength, and resources, and to reach out in those moments. And he did show me in some of the moments where, starting my course, I was like, I picked up a book in the college library, and it wasn't even a Krishna conscious book, but it was about Krishna and Arjuna, and I was like, oh my God, it was about subtle energy, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing. He's sort of I don't know, he's still there. He's there in everything I do. So that was really beautiful. And I was just thinking about in our breakout room, I was thinking about how Krishna, when he's young, he can be so playful, and he steals things and takes things away. And maybe I can try and imbibe that in my own journey when I feel like things are being taken away, or I'm changing it actually, that there's room for new things to come. And it's something about being playful about that. Otherwise, it feels quite serious and can get quite heavy. So I was just, and I think I also wrote, he's a source of joy, sparkle, and fun, and that Krishna loves me. So to remember that.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Wow. Thank you all so much. This has been so rich. Thank you, Citralekha. And
Are we not doing the affirmations that we were?
Do you want to say an affirmation that you wrote?
Yes, very much so. I'm not alone. Radha and Krishna are my 24/7.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I think we're about at time. Surabhi, can I share what's happening next month?
Please do.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Nina, Citralekha. This was really, really rich and playful. And yes, as adults, we take ourselves too seriously, don't we? So we have to remember Krishna is full of play, full of sparkle, Rupa, right? And abundance. Yeah, so next month, guess what? February 16th, if you want to mark your calendars, we have the esteemed Janavi Harrison, Janavi Jivana Devi Dasi, Janavi Harrison, and she's going to speak about Into the Forest, which the creative journey of her new recording. The description is, she says, she'll share about the journey of creating her spiritual music album, Into the Forest, delving into the stories, symbolism, and poetry that inspired it. And she'll also help us to see how we can find inspiration for our own creativity, self-expression, and prayer. So beautiful. Please mark it on your calendars. Please spread the word that amazing. We have Janavi with us. So tell your friends. And please come February 16th, Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you all. Hare Krishna. And thank you again, dear Nina Citralekha.
Thank you so much. I am so moved with all what you shared. I'm so happy that you all got to beautiful realizations, to beautiful and powerful statements, to go into your 2025 knowing there's an infinite Sari. And I look forward to seeing you also, those that can come to the Spirit Retreat that I'll be co-hosting with Rukmini Prabhu, which is like such a honor in Colombia. We're gonna be whale watching and working with art therapy, Bhakti sessions, and it's gonna be beautiful. So I invite you all to join us, and thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
First week of September. Mark your calendars if you can come.
Yes,
It'll be beautiful.
I've posted everything on the chat, also the poster image, and you find the information either on Rukmini Prabhu's website or Citralekha's website. You will see the information, and there are also the links there. If you do have any questions, if you're new, feel free to just email urbandevi108@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you on anything whatsoever you need from us. Okay? Thank you so much, all. Yeah, thank you so much all for being here. We appreciate your time and dedication to this path, and very, very much look forward to any feedback or anything you'd like to see in 2025 would actually be wonderful. We are starting the year with this wonderful talk today, and then Janavi Harrison, that will be here next session. So please don't miss that. Okay, see you all, and thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Bye.